So it's the end of July. I said I would post a video of my progress. And let's start by the end of the yard. I planted 6 rows of Kentucky pole beans, and they're just coming on the fence now. Well, they're about 2-3 feet. And I've got this row here. My Virginia creeper is doing good this year. It's going up the fence. These are the Kentucky pole beans. See, they're latching onto the fence and they're just going to climb the fence. So I should have beans in a couple of weeks because they're flowering. There's my other Virginia creeper. This one's about 4 years old, and it took me a long time to get it this way. These are my other Kentucky pole beans. There was a whole 25-foot row there, and they're flowering. You see, they're starting to flower. Let me see if I can get that clear. Anyways, they're flowering, so in about 2 weeks I should have beans. Now I'm standing beside the peas, and if you look at them, they're about 8 feet high. So they're hanging over now, and I've had a good 5 full picks out of them, and they're flowering again. So I should have more peas, probably another 2 full picks in about a week or so. The peas don't take long. Had good strawberries this year, first strawberries. Planted those last year. Here's another row of Kentucky pole bean. You guys are probably getting a hint that I like beans. This is pretty much why I started gardening, because I like beans, and it turned into this. This is my cilantro rows, and they're doing good. I ate a lot of it. There's parsnips I planted last year, and they're coming up. I got seeds there. And I'm testing different things this year. First of all, one of my theories was if I plant on this side of the plot, the plants will all grow towards this way, because the sun, I'm south facing, and the way the sun hits these plants, it hits them more growing easterly. So I find even with the Kentucky Virginia creeper, see, the vine is growing more towards the east. It's because of the way the sun is hitting them. So that is teaching me how to plant my plots and the way I want my plants to grow. My tomatoes are ripe. I'm testing the ones I planted myself from seed inside the house, and the ones I buy at co-op. And so far, the peppers from co-op, they're not doing that great. I mean, they're nice and green, but they don't flower much, and they're not producing much peppers. I have a couple over there, but I'm going to show you compared to the peppers that I seeded myself in the house in March, what they're growing like. So the tomatoes from the co-op and the tomatoes I did myself, I find, see, this is one I planted myself, and the ones at the co-op, they're kind of skinny. They don't leaf and flower as much as the ones I did inside. So it's pretty interesting, and if I can show you in the greenhouse the difference. So you see the nice leafy ones in the back. I planted those from seed, and those are yellow tomatoes. And the ones I purchased from a local greenhouse, they're not doing that great. They're skinny, not much leaf. They're fruiting, but you know. And look at these green peppers. Look how thick, leafy, lush, and look how big the peppers are already. And I probably started these at the same time as the greenhouse in our local area, so I'm thinking maybe they're using commercial seeds, or something different, and these were from Halifax seeds. I even have mini melons growing in the back there. I don't know if I'm going to get melons. I'm not sure if that's a self-pollinator or a bee pollinating plant, but I noticed something this year compared to last year's. We don't have, well, in Eskasoni anyways, we don't have many bees here this year, and my zucchinis were flowering, and I had the male flowers and the female flowers, and this is a male flower, and the female flowers have little stubs on them. I'll try to find them for you. See, that's a female flower there. So what needs to happen with zucchini is the bees come in the male flower, they take the pollen out, and then they go into the female flower to produce fruit. So we haven't had much bees this year, so I've been self-pollinating, hand pollinating my zucchini. And good thing I caught on to this early. I thought something was wrong with them because the flowers kept falling off and the little fruits or the vegetable, and I was wondering how was that happening, and I started reading up on it, and they said it could be a pollinating issue or a root rot issue or a blossom rot, but it wasn't blossom rot because the blossoms were fine. So I started hand pollinating, and this is what I got. I got zucchini, so I've got a couple going, and all these I pretty much hand pollinated myself, all the ones that are growing. So yeah, so this is what I'm learning this year. And oh, these are Inca berries, by the way. I wanted to try them, and they're actually fruiting. These are perennials, they say, but in South America, if you plant these in South America, they'll last 3 years and get bigger and bigger, and you get more fruit. But since we have winter here, and I put some mulch there, I don't think they'll reseed. I'm going to try putting something else in that plot next year and experiment with other stuff. So next year, I think experimental phases will be over, and I'm pretty much going to know what I want. Look at this plot here. I put cilantro in there, and last year I had pansies, and the pansies reseeded themselves in the gravel. I even have a radish that reseeded itself in this gravel. So I have a radish seed coming up, and I have pansies growing in the gravel. So it's kind of like that sunflower last year that was in the corner of this plot, that if I wouldn't have picked it, I would have never known it was a sunflower. And I was picking at those pansies at the beginning of the year, so I don't know. It's pretty cool anyways. I get to learn this stuff. I never thought I'd find flowers reseeding themselves in gravel. So that's where I'm at, end of July, and hopefully I'll show you guys some beans in a couple of weeks.